Hello, friends. You're probably wondering why I'm booting this game up again. Before any of you ask, nothing is going on in this game right now except for one major thing. About 2 or 3 days ago, a Twitter account appeared that is apparently official. I mean, we know with Elon Musk making it so anybody in their cat can buy a blue check mark, it's hard to tell, but there actually is going to be a Singaporean version of this game actually tomorrow. Now, I wanted to talk about why that's kind of a blessing and a curse. I've talked at length about how this game has not gotten any significant updates in months. I just wanted to talk about other issues with this game that were never really addressed. So, I'm sure you can imagine, it's a gotcha game, so I have to talk about loot boxes, summons, whatever they call them. It doesn't matter what they're called. Uh, Hold on a sec. So basically, you only had one pity in this game. You had a pity at the beginning. As you can see there, it says that it's already taken. You get a legendary after 30 pulls on this banner. This is the permanent banner that's always up. The other one is the limited banner. So there'll be two legendary weapons in rotation. So generally, I don't know what they're going to change in the Singaporean version. They said that they were going to be significant changes. I hope this is one of the things that's changed. So basically, when you start out on this game, you want to use all your free currency from beating the story, and you want to get your pity here. That will give you at least one legendary to work with. The problem is there was no pity after that, so and the pity is actually like 100 for a legendary, which is ridiculous, especially since you can end up getting the same one. There's no like selector or anything in this game at all. Likewise, this did not have a pity either. You could do this forever and get nothing. There's actually quite a few legendaries in this game, as you can see. I spent a fair share on this, probably nowhere near as much as people with more disposable income than me. I only have a couple of them. If I wanted to get more of these, I probably would have had to spend like hundreds of dollars or something. Basically, legendaries change your moveset. Like if I click on this one right here, this is a pause string for your first weapon A attack. So basically, there's a light and heavy A and B kind of system in this game, kind of like Soul Calibur actually. Not necessarily heavy attack, but just like two separate attack buttons. So as long as you have this legendary, this means that you'll always have this move unlocked. Even if you get rid of the weapon, you'll have it permanently unlocked. So having these have absolutely no pity at all, and there's only like two in a banner, and there's no selector or anything, it just made it feel like you couldn't get anywhere in this game, and it's a shame because the game itself is quite good. I'd argue the combat in this is even better than PGR, since it's not really trying to be, PGR as good as it is kind of just it's a character action game stripped down for the mobile platform. I don't even know why you would even want to play this on a touchscreen because it has full controller support. I actually have my controller hooked up right now. But the monetization was just awful. There were a lot of pay-to-win things you could buy as well. If you look in here right now, I mentioned this before, but there used to be way more stuff in here. You could buy like complete packages that would just make you broken, overpowered. They had a bunch of timed events and stuff that you could buy. That was mostly what I bought, but they removed all that. So I don't know how you're supposed to keep up with like the whales in this game right now, because they had access to just buying as much broken stuff as they wanted. And now you can really do that. I mean, I guess you could, but the packages were like a way better deal overall. So I don't know what it is they're planning to do. I think my biggest concern, I'm going to assume that they're going to fix the monetization. I don't know if I'll be able to get in because obviously I'm a filthy gaijin American. I don't know if they'll accept me on their beta. I'm going to try to get in if I can, as long as I don't have to pull too many teeth to do it. I actually made this Billy account with my own personal information. I didn't do any shady stuff when I made this. It's probably will be easier to get on the Singaporean account, but hopefully they will improve the monetization, maybe make it so that you can just buy the weapons outright, or at least have a selector when you hit pity, and then lower the pity so that You don't have to spend so much money. I think that's the biggest problem. Now, there is one other thing I should mention. Which banner is it? So for the longest time, I would say Virgil was the best investment to make if you're planning to spend money on this game, because Virgil has these Source Rocks. Source Rocks are essentially this game's version of pity. Dante and Lady do not have anything like this yet. I can't even fathom how long it's been. It's been like a year. But basically, when you pull for things in here, you can either get Virgil, you can get his legendaries, or you can get the Source Rocks. I actually managed to get a dupe of Virgil just from sheer dumb luck, and that gives you like 50 Source Rocks. So if you're lucky enough to get him, the rates are terrible. You could basically be able to get anything you want in here. Like you can see, I have 6 of his legendaries, and he's got 5 more up here. So if I did a couple pulls, I could maybe get one of these. So the legendaries basically complement your moveset. Some of them are just kind of for style. You know, it is a DMC game after all. So not everything is going to be super practical. There's definitely ones you want to aim for if you're going for utility. So I think that's one of the biggest problems with the monetization in this game, is that you can spend so much and get nothing. And really the only banner that feels like you're actually getting your money's worth is pretty much this one right here, Virgil's, because you can guarantee both him and all of his legendaries if you play enough or spend enough or a combination of both. With Dante and Lady, you just don't really get that luxury. So let's go ahead and do a couple pulls right now. Why not? I don't cash in this game anymore. It's been dead for too long. Let's see, I got 2 Source Rocks there. So now I have a total of 36. So if I got 14 more, that would ensure that I could get guaranteed legendary for him. Likewise, if I got Virgil himself through a drop, then I would get 50 Source Rocks. I think the problem here is it's kind of like Mega Man X Dive, which is ironically made by the same people. DMC doesn't have a lot of active combatants, so they can't like really give you a lot of characters like they can in PGR, where there's like 1 or 2 characters a month. They really only have a couple to go through. Nero was supposed to be coming at some point. I don't know what the hell happened with that. That's been vaporware for a while. I think what they'll need to do is they'll need to just fix the monetization entirely. Make it less pay to win. Make it so that you actually feel like you're getting your money's worth. My other biggest concern is that if they're making another version of this game, does that imply that they're going to make new content? Because I feel like, I don't know how many of you played Japanese version PSO2, but that would go months with what we called drip feed, where they would have like major updates, and then, between those they would have, filler events and like just costumes and stuff, and they would update every 2 weeks, but generally you're waiting a couple months for something substantial to do. Between episodes you had, the episode endgame gear to grind for and stuff. The problem with making another version of this game is that they, realistically, if they're putting out an update either monthly or bi-weekly, they will run out of content within, like, I'd say 3 to 4 months. I don't know how that's financially feasible or viable to not really have a lot of content. Obviously, most service games in general, not just mobile games, but most service games, when they come from a foreign country and they release them internationally or globally, they usually have like at least a year's worth of content, right? This game really only got, I'd say, maybe 6 months of updates. They did some pretty substantial things, but for the most part, it just went into full maintenance mode, and I don't really understand what having another version of this implies, because it basically would imply that they're going to make new content, but this has been in maintenance mode for months. So I don't understand what it is they're trying to do. It says that they're making significant changes, but regardless of how good or bad those changes are, it's just the reality is that they're going to run out of content. There's not anywhere near enough to really work with. They could probably drip feed Virgil maybe in like the first few weeks, and then try to drip feed the story chapters. The problem with the story chapters is much like any other mobile gacha game or any service game in general. The story becomes irrelevant past the point. You use it to get your get your bearings on the game and get your base resources for pulls and stuff. But after that, you don't really play it again. So I don't even think that's really going to be a good method of getting people to stick around either. I'm going to assume the game is not dead. I don't really think that they would put this much work into making one of the best action games on mobile and then just shelve it. But it's been in maintenance mode for months, and I just don't see how it's viable to make another version when realistically, if the beta is out tomorrow and they go into full release, or open beta or whatever, they really only have like, I'd say maybe until March or April, and that's being generous, of actual content to drip feed. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I just thought I'd give my thoughts because I was very passionate about this game. I played it hardcore when it came out, but then it just went into maintenance mode. And both from my experience and growing up with a mom who also played a lot of service games, when the game goes into maintenance mode, there's not any substantial updates, and then to make it worse, the cash shop got gutted. You can still spend money on the game. If I put these up right now, it would bring up a cash prompt. You can still spend money on the game, but the fact that they just removed everything, most of the things that were actually giving them substantial income, which was the cash packages that gave you more loot boxes for a discount. You could get your elemental books and your runes and stuff. You could get all of those things. And now it just has like the most basic things in here and literally nothing else. That's not a good sign, but it seems like maybe what they're doing is they're considering this version, the native version, to be like a failed launch and a failed version, and they're going to try to do a relaunch. Obviously, in mobile in Asia, there's a lot of competition. People would probably play Honkai and PGR over this, even though the combat in those games is nowhere near as good. Even PGR, as good as it is, can't compare with something that's actually trying to be a legit character action game. Most games have content coming constantly, and this just has been in maintenance mode for months. And if you know anything about service games, and something goes in maintenance mode for months, it usually means that it's shutting down. But now I don't even know if that's going to happen because there's apparently going to be a different version. Anyway, I just thought I'd post my thoughts and concerns and talk a little bit about the problems with this game, how pay to win it was, like the poor monetization of getting things you want, just feeling like you're just throwing money into a fire, which is one of the things that could definitely kill any service game. If it feels like you spend your hard-earned money and you get absolutely nothing. Nobody likes that. So I'm hoping those things will be fixed, but more importantly, actually equally importantly, I would like them to actually show some kind of roadmap, because Nero was supposed to come to this game months ago, and there's no sign of him anywhere. There's been no updates at all, and I just don't understand what they're planning. Like, are they just gonna cash grab the 4 to 5 months of content they have in this version, translated into other languages, and then just rage quit, or what? Anyway, I'll try to get into the Singaporean beta. It's probably going to be easier than this. I had to actually send them my ID and stuff to make the account verified. I hope it won't be harder than that, but we'll see what happens. If I can get into the beta, I'll let you guys know, and we'll check it out tomorrow. Thanks for watching.